1957, a young boy's lifeless body was discovered in a cardboard box in Philadelphia. No name, no parents, no justice, just questions. For decades, America has obsessed over this haunting mystery. Who was he? Who failed him? The truth would remain buried until the case took a chilling turn. Dubbed America's Unknown Child, the boy in the box became one of the nation's most heartbreaking cold cases. Despite relentless investigation and national media attention, the mystery persisted for over 60 years. This is the chilling tale of a forgotten child, the obsession that followed, and a twist decades in the making. The discovery, a cardboard coffin in the woods. On February 25, 1957, in a quiet wooded area of Fox Chase, Philadelphia, a college student hunting for rabbits stumbled upon a large cardboard box discarded in the underbrush. Inside was the body of a young boy, nude, bruised, and partially wrapped in a flannel blanket. The box had once contained a bassinet sold by JCPenney. The boy was estimated to be between 3 and 7 years old, around 40 inches tall, weighing only 30 pounds, alarmingly undernourished. His hair had been crudely chopped, perhaps in an attempt to disguise his appearance, and his hands and feet showed signs of pruning, indicating he had been recently bathed post-mortem. Police initially hoped the case would be solved quickly. Surely someone would come forward to claim the child, but no one did. No missing child reports matched his description. And so began a mystery that would torment law enforcement, forensic experts, and the public for generations. Initial investigations and dead ends. The Philadelphia Police Department conducted exhaustive efforts. Flyers featuring the boy's face were distributed across the city and even included with utility bills. His postmortem photo was retouched to show what he may have looked like alive. Thousands of leads came in, none fruitful. Authorities looked into orphanages, adoption agencies, and foster homes. Dental records offered no clues. The bassinet box was traced to a store in Upper Darby, but no sale records or witnesses emerged. A nearby home for wayward women was investigated thoroughly to no avail. The boy's fingerprints were taken, yet without a name, they were meaningless. Media frenzy and public involvement. The case captivated the public and drew in amateur sleuths, journalists, and even psychics. The story ran in national publications like Life magazine. People across the country speculated wildly. Was he kidnapped? Beaten by parents? Sold into abuse? One local psychic claimed the boy lived in a foster home. A New Jersey woman insisted he was her grandson. Each tip faded under scrutiny. The public wanted justice for the boy, but the identity of both victim and killer remained elusive. Theories and suspects. Over the years, investigators and armchair sleuths alike have floated a range of theories to explain the boy in the box mystery, some grounded in real leads and others veering toward the fantastical. In the 1960s, for example, a psychic claimed the child had lived in a nearby foster home whose owner had purchased a bassinet, strikingly similar to the one in the JCPenney box. Blankets matching those found wrapped around the boy were even recovered from the home. Yet, without irrefutable physical evidence tying him to that household, the line of inquiry slowly unraveled, leaving more questions than answers. Decades later, in 2002, a woman known only as M stepped forward with a harrowing confession. She alleged that her own abusive mother had bought the boy, whom they called Jonathan, in 1954, subjected him to years of torture, and ultimately killed him in a fit of rage after he vomited baked beans. M's story eerily aligned with crime scene details, from the roughly chopped hair to traces of beans in the stomach, even suggesting that the body had been bathed to remove signs of abuse. Yet despite its chilling specificity, no corroborating documents, witnesses, or independent proof of Jonathan's existence could ever be found, rendering the confession tantalizing yet unsubstantiated. More recently, some have speculated that the child was part of an illicit trafficking network, sold into servitude or exploitation before being discarded when he became a burden. Though this theory resonates with broader patterns of mid-century child trafficking, it remains purely conjectural in Joseph's case, as no records, accomplices, or logistical trail have emerged. Each theory, whether sprung from hope, fear, or imagination, underscores the depth of our collective frustration. Decades of leads that nearly ignite the truth, only to fizzle out, leaving the boy's final fate, and the identity of his killer still buried in the woods of time. The identity finally revealed. For decades, the boy in the box was buried under a headstone that read, "America's unknown child." His case went cold, and generations of detectives retired without answers. But in 2019, Philadelphia authorities exhumed the boy's body a second time to extract better DNA samples. Advances in forensic genealogy, famously used to catch the Golden State Killer, offered new hope. With the help of Othram Incorporated, a Texas-based private lab, genealogists began building a family tree. In December 2022, after 65 years, the boy was finally identified as Joseph Augustus Zarelli, born January 13, 1953. He was just 4 years old at the time of death. Who was Joseph Augustus Zarelli? Joseph came from a large family with several half-siblings. Born to an unwed couple, he was the product of a brief relationship. While his exact place of residence and who raised him in his short life remain unclear, officials were able to track down relatives and confirm his identity with DNA from both maternal and paternal lines. Authorities stated they knew who Joseph's parents were, but out of respect for surviving family members, did not publicly release their names. It was a moment of bittersweet closure. Finally, the boy had a name, yet his murder remained unsolved. Unanswered questions and lingering pain. Despite finally identifying Joseph Augustus Zarelli, his tragic story remains shrouded in painful mystery. Who killed Joseph, and what drove them to such brutality against an innocent child? Where did he spend the final, silent years of his life? And who was responsible for his care or neglect? The lack of records, silence from those who may have known him, and the absence of justice raise unsettling questions. Was Joseph abandoned by the very people meant to protect him? Was he failed by a broken system, a troubled family, or both? These unanswered questions continue to haunt all who seek the truth. Investigators believe someone close to Joseph knows the truth. But decades of silence and fading memories cloud the case. DNA solved the identity, but justice still lingers out of reach. Cultural impact. The ghost who touched America. Joseph's story became more than a cold case. It became a symbol. He represented every lost, abused, and forgotten child. His anonymous face haunted billboards, police bulletins, and nightmares. The public held vigils, decorated his grave with toys, and kept his memory alive. Artists painted portraits of what he might have looked like. Podcasters and YouTubers reanalyzed clues, refusing to let the trail go cold. And now, after 6 decades, the ghost in the box finally has a name. Justice in the DNA age. The boy in the box case exemplifies how technology is revolutionizing cold case investigations. With forensic genealogy, law enforcement agencies now have powerful tools to revisit unsolved crimes. Since Joseph's identification, other long-dormant cases have seen breakthroughs, giving hope to grieving families and closure to communities. It's a quiet revolution, science uncovering the secrets the past tried to bury. But sometimes, identification isn't enough. True justice requires accountability, answers, and recognition of a stolen life. Outro. Joseph Augustus Zarelli now rests under a new headstone, this time with his name. But his story isn't over. His short life demands answers. His murder begs justice. Could the truth still be out there, hidden in memory or guilt? Will someone finally come forward to reveal what really happened to Joseph?